Proposed new Verizon cell phone tower deep in Anne Arundel County is drawing heated opposition from parents. It would sit directly on an elementary school property. Shelley Orman is live in Shady Side tonight, where dozens are now voicing their concerns. Hi, Shelley.
Hi, Kai. You know, many people coming tonight brought signs like these against the project. Now, those at the cell company say that a new tower is needed. They call this a dead zone, but opponents are dead set against this idea. It's a quiet town that lives up to its name, Shady Side.
Part of the reason we moved here was to just get away from all the pollution of the big cities.
Wednesday night, fired up parents and residents were anything but quiet.
Working with the shame on the school board for that.
They want Verizon Wireless to know they do not want a cell tower built near Shady Side Elementary School.
I have a soon-to-be first grader at the school.
Verizon and the company Milestone Communications have filed to build a fenced-in 114-foot tower in the woods that border the school.
Schools should be in the business of education and not in the business of providing cell coverage to communities.
The Anne Arundel Board of Education has an agreement with Milestone to place cell towers on county school property, receiving money in exchange.
We pick locations so that it blends in with the environment, so it has very little visual impact. That's why this site is such a good site, because it's a large site, it's a heavily wooded area.
Lynn Forkas with Milestone says the tower is needed to improve service.
Verizon has towers nearby, but this is a huge dead zone for Verizon. The amount of data going through the networks has tripled just in the last couple of years. And in order to make our phones work, we have to have more infrastructure.
Unclear right now whether it's safe or not. I'd rather keep my kids safe.
Those opposed are worried about the environmental impact and property values and questioning any potential health impacts.
All my neighbors don't want it, and we're the people who live right next to it.
We're not like anti-cell tower, we're not anti-technology. We just think there's a lot of different places that they could place a cell tower than on school property.
Now, this approval process involves a number of steps. Tonight's meeting was just one part of that. The school board still has to formally approve or deny the application after hearing from the community. Reporting live in Shady Side tonight, Shelley Orman, Fox 45.
To show just how a cell phone tower near schools could impact the safety.
It's a whole slew of issues, but my primary concern when I heard about it was safety, because nobody said it's safe yet.
Community members gathered last night to discuss plans to place a cell phone tower on the grounds of Shady Side Elementary School. Verizon has applied to place a 114-foot tower at the school in a secured, fenced-in area. Opponents say there are not enough studies to show the impact it could have on children.
It's a whole slew of issues, but my primary concern when I heard about it was safety, because nobody said it's safe yet. Nobody.
Well, I've been building cell towers for 17 years, and we have over 20 partnerships with schools in 6 different states. We've built over 100 towers, half of them around school properties, and we believe that there's no credible evidence that shows that there's any harm to children or people.
Opponents also say the coverage area for the tower will be limited and not worth the risk.
Will you be guaranteed? Will we be guaranteed that the cell tower is safe for us kids, and we won't get some sort of cancer or anything like that? Because I don't want cancer.
Can I ask what grade you're in?
What?
What grade are you in?
5th.
You're in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going into 5th.
When my son was 9 years old, in the 3rd grade, he was diagnosed with leukemia. He went to a school where there was a cell tower within 300 or 400 feet from his elementary school at Forestville Elementary School in Fairfax County. So if there's anyone who can understand your concern, it's me. Because I'm a parent of a child who had cancer and survived cancer. And I can tell you that there is no credible evidence to demonstrate that my son got cancer from that cell tower. Because the reality is that there's no evidence to show it causes harm. And I wouldn't be a business that would cause harm.
That in every single lease that we sign with Anne Arundel County Schools, we have a provision in our lease agreement so that if there's ever a risk, or it's conclusively proved that wireless energy causes harm, we take action. And we have the same responsibility with our carriers. We take action for that.
Have they been proved to be safe, Mr. Coleman? I believe they have not been proved to be unsafe, because when, as and if, any ingredient in cigarette smoke is identified as being injurious to human health, we are confident that we can eliminate that ingredient.
Riders packed the LA County Board of Supervisors meeting today to protest giant cell towers at their stations. CBS 2's Dave Lopez shows us why they have serious concerns.
This is a step in the right direction, not only for the firefighters and the firefighters' safety, but for the citizens we serve.
The problem is that wireless uses microwaves, and that when you microwave people, over time they get sick.
And for hours, speaker after speaker addressed the County Board of Supervisors today, saying that the installation of the county's new emergency radio system just isn't worth it.
We were saying to the federal government, we need an extension for the purpose of answering substantial questions about this very important public safety matter.
The federal government is going to give Los Angeles County $154 million in grant money to pay for the system, but it comes with a catch. The deadline is September 30th. 8 of these cell towers have been installed. The plan calls for 176 more. But by a 5-0 vote, the Board of Supervisors put a halt to everything, saying that more study is needed and the concern is far too great. The cancer risks are there. That's what the board was told.
All cell towers can cause cancer. All cell towers can cause neurological illnesses. It doesn't matter if it's an LA Ricks tower or Verizon tower.
I concluded from that report, it's true, the babies born from women who smoke are smaller, but they're just as healthy as the babies born from women who do not smoke.
What about the higher
And
rate
some
of
women would
deaths?
prefer having smaller babies.
Okay, my name is Lennart Hardell from Sweden. I'm an oncologist, been working many years in oncology, and my research career started actually back in late 1970s, early 1980s, when I made cancer studies on the Agent Orange stuff. We had the same type of chemicals in Sweden used in forestry, and it turned out to be related to an increased risk for specific types of cancer, soft tissue sarcoma and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. And these studies became part of the Agent Orange trial in the United States, and also the basis for compensation to Vietnam veterans for specific cancer diseases. Afterwards, it has of course been shown that TCDD, which is the major contaminant in Agent Orange, is a multi-site carcinogen to humans, so it gives different types of cancer and also other diseases, and has been classified as a group 1 complete human carcinogen by IARC, which was decided some 20 years after our initial studies. But there was a growing international body of evidence that TCDD is cancer-causing, as well as Agent Orange, of course, too. We have also made many studies on pesticides related to cancer, mostly on the lymphomas, and one of the pesticides was, besides of these Agent Orange herbicides, is glyphosate or Roundup. And we found an increased risk for non-Hodgkin lymphoma associated with use of Roundup, which has been confirmed in, or rather, I would say, shown in 2 other studies, one from the United States and one from Canada. And these were one of the bases for classifying glyphosate recently by IARC as a group 2B possible human carcinogen, which is of major impact because this has to do with the gene modification and of course the Monsanto production of these products, and also should have an impact on the use of these compounds like glyphosate, because they are freely to be used nowadays. You can buy them in the shop and use as much as you want. Well, since more than 10 years I've been involved in research on brain cancer and the relationship with mobile phones and cordless desktop phones, and we have found a clear association with an increased risk with such use, which has been confirmed by other studies and were the basis for, again, classifying by IARC as a possible human carcinogen group 2B in May 2011. And we have continued with such research
So a growing number of prominent doctors and scientists are raising warning flags over radiation this morning, and your kids could be facing a greater risk of exposure. NBC national correspondent Miguel Almaguer was granted rare access inside a cell phone test lab.
You see them every day, everywhere, kids on phones. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children are now exposed to an exponentially greater amount of radio frequency than any adult will ever be in a lifetime.
Special consideration should be taken, says integrative health specialist and rheumatologist Dr. Ailey Cohen.
Children's skulls, they take in more radiation, 10 times the radiation as an adult skull. Brain tissue, actually, in a child will absorb 2 times the amount of radiation than an adult will.
Some countries like France have taken steps to protect children by either banning ads that promote phone sales to kids or issuing special warnings.
In a colorful protest, about 24 Weston Elementary School kids in Ripon skipped class on Wednesday, demanding the Ripon Unified School District remove what they believe is a cancer-causing agent.
What do you want the school to do?
Take down that cell tower.
Having a cell phone tower on a school ground, in 2011 it was classified as a known carcinogen, so that tells me that it shouldn't be around our children.
Kelly Prime's 11-year-old son, Kyle, was diagnosed with cancer last year.
I had a worms tumor in my left kidney.
And Monica Ferruli's 10-year-old son, Mason, was diagnosed 6 months later.
I had brain cancer.
It's devastating. You know, it's a battle that no parent wants to watch their child go through. Oh, it was complete devastation.
Both mothers believe the radiation from the communications tower, which was installed in 2009 on the school's campus, may be the reason their sons got sick.
It's there. It's very, very close to the buildings. The kids are there, 6-7 hours a day.
The American Cancer Society says there is very little evidence that these towers cause cancer. Even so, Ferruli says she has demanded answers from the school district, only to remain in the dark.
They don't know when it's tested, what the last radiation levels that were tested, how often it's tested.
We called, even showed up to the superintendent's office, but administrators told us she wasn't available. No one would comment. Now both boys are cancer-free, but their parents, who are fighting to keep it that way, say they might have to transfer their kids to a different school for their health.
At this point, we just have to eliminate any possible factors that could cause it to come back.
Our world changed.
Emotions running high at the Ripon Unified School District Board meeting.
He was removed from school. He was removed from all of his friends. He missed out on the entire year of school.
Families raising concerns about a cell phone tower at Weston Elementary School where 2 students have been diagnosed with cancer.
Convince the school district to take it down.
Mason Ferruli is in 6th grade and has attended Weston since kindergarten. He spent the first half of the year battling a rare brain tumor, undergoing a 14-hour surgery to remove it.
It was pretty rough.
Doctors can't say what caused his brain cancer. According to the American Cancer Society, research is inconclusive on whether cell phones and cell towers are linked to cancer.
There's not enough research to say it is or it's not, so why have our children be the experiment that discovers that it is later on?
Joe and Kelly Prime's son Kyle also developed cancer while going to school there.
And it's not proven either way, and we don't understand why you would gamble with children's health.
Now thousands of parents and community members have signed a petition to remove the tower.
We started a petition approximately a month ago, and we received over 3,300 signatures.
Parents say the money the school district gets from having the tower on campus isn't worth any potential risk, even if the health impacts of wireless radiation is still uncertain.
We just want them to be open-minded and hear what we're saying.
School board members originally told us they would not be commenting tonight, but they just released a statement saying they appreciate the family's comments and they have already started and will continue to look into the issue. Reporting from Ripon, Natalie Brunel, KCRA 3 News.
Perfect, normal, as usual.
10-year-old Kyle Prime, but in August of last year, he was diagnosed with a massive problem.
But there's just a lump in my stomach.
Not just any lump. Kyle's dad, Joe Prime, showed us this picture of the tumor after it was removed from his son's stomach near his kidney. But Kyle wasn't alone.
Crazy, because everybody lately is getting cancer anymore at my school.
In January, with a tumor in his brain. Parents of both kids do not believe this is a coincidence.
It's really frustrating.
Both boys attend Weston Elementary in Ripon, a school that also has this cell phone tower on its campus and has for the last 8 years. Kyle and Mason's parents say they don't know for sure if the tower is to blame, but at tonight's Ripon Unified School District meeting, they pleaded to have it taken down.
Heather that have been diagnosed with cancer. This tower needs to be removed.
Also at tonight's meeting was Ellen Marks. She's the director of the California Brain Tumor Association. Marks, too, cannot say the tower is what caused the kid's cancer for sure. She adds, though, that recent research suggests it may have.
Some are diagnosed now, some might not be diagnosed for 10 or 20 years. We can't take that chance.